Welcome to the Swedish Gaming Dudes. My name is Johan.
I'm John.
And I'm Justin.
And welcome to our special episode about the game Clair Obscur Expedition 33. One of our Game of the Year contenders for this year that has made a huge impact on the gaming community. So we thought that we should make a special episode about just this game, deep diving into this game.
So it will be 5 hours long.
Yeah, 5 hours long.
It never ends.
Yeah, but before we start talking about Clair Obscur, John, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah, let's see here. I am playing currently Donkey Kong Bonanza, as I'm borrowing it from you, Yuan.
Yeah.
And I've gotten kind of a really good start and, quite into the game. It does get a bit repetitive after playing like 30 minutes an hour, but generally I really love the fact that you choose yourself where to go, the things you collect, and you have the ultimate goal to collect bananas, and how you really ultimately go there is up to you.
Yeah.
And it's just so marvelous.
Yeah, it's cool. I've played it also and finished it, and as you said, it's sort of the freedom in the game that you don't have to have a certain amount, not until after you completed the game, so a certain amount of bananas, and you can always advance in the story. Just to complete the game. If you want to focus on that, you can just focus on that and not just chase around bananas. But it's very addicting to chase bananas in that game, I think. Yeah. But it's great. Justin, what have you been playing?
Same. So much Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I'm in the end game after the story now and can't stop.
Yeah.
I thought you would get tired of the banana. It's still 800 bananas in. It's still a satisfying sound.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's great. I've been playing. I finally got Metal Gear Solid Delta, the remake of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, which is my favorite game of all time. So I've been playing that for a couple of days. It just released. It's very new still, but it's so good. They just refreshed the graphics in Unreal Engine, and you have way more freedom the way you play the game with the controls, more modern controls, more like in Metal Gear Solid 5, so you can do a lot more stuff and smarter enemies. And I'm just enjoying that. It's just it's an amazing feeling when it's your favorite game, just going back, and it's still like it's more like a fresh coat of paint in that way, because all the items and guards and stuff like that are at the same place like before, but you can use new tactics or old tactics still to get through the areas. But it's super fun. Yeah. Have you started playing as well, John?
I did just barely play just the part of the intro. And there was this section where there's a crocodile behind some bushes. And if you approach it, you get this bronze trophy. What was it that said, "I see you there"?
Yeah.
like oh my god! I just figured I don't want to get my health depleted because of that thing. I just it's too early, so I just turned it off and went like, I'm gonna get back to this. Still haven't.
But they have fun names for the trophies in that game, because you have camouflage, and if you get 90% camouflage or 100%, you get a trophy that's called a good man is hard to find and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun names for trophies, but it's a masterpiece, and now it's even better, I think, with the new. For me, it have received some criticism because it has some slowdowns with the graphics on, but I think it works fine on PlayStation 5, the base PlayStation 5 at least. I think it's gorgeous game, really. So
it was truly beautiful.
It's really beautiful. Character models, it looks almost real now. But today we're going to deep dive into Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So you have any initial thoughts when you started playing this game? For me, it was very hyped, the game. I started hearing from different YouTubers, but because it wasn't on my radar at the beginning, like this Clair Obscur, but then it gets such a positive buzz online to everybody. Oh, you must play this game, you should try this game, and out of nowhere, okay, I really have to try this, and it was on Game Pass, so it was easy just to install it and get playing. So, but what was your first thought playing this? John, you want to start?
I like just remembered how amazing it was. I had really not much. I had pretty much a clean slate starting playing the game.
Yeah,
Because I had it on a recommendation because of you guys and other people as well who told me you should play this game because it's just so amazing. And I didn't really know much what to expect, and I just love the fact that I could just ease into it, and I love the fact that it felt like, you know, some kind of homage to the Final Fantasy 7 and 10 games and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it just felt like, you know, to start off with, I love the fact that there was some linear path, you know, adventuring and just, you know, find different kinds of paths for you to go forward.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you started to care more about the characters and what happened throughout the storyline.
Yeah.
And the battles were amazing, and the music was just so immersive. By the time, you know, when you come to like the flying water section, that's pretty early on, I was really sold. That's when I truly understood, okay, this is why I needed to play the game.
Yeah.
It was same. It was you, Johan. We just sent a text with a picture of the cover and masterpiece.
Yeah.
so I had to say, well, we usually have the same taste.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
But I
true.
have to Google it, check the reviews on Steam. But 76,000 reviews, an average score of 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
And I agree with the Flying Waters area is when it really kicked off and you start to realize how good of a game it is.
Yeah.
Both with the story, graphics, the music was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, the music, I've been listening to it on Spotify, I mean, almost every day in some way. Maybe just one song or, you know, on my way to work or something, or just having it in the background doing things at home. But it's, I mean, the music by Lorient Testard, excuse us for butchering all the French names here, but it's but it's like I read, I mean, the story behind this game is amazing because they're very like, there is very small team, this Sandfall Entertainment, and they're just like found each other basically online, like the composer Lorient, he had never composed music for a video game before, and a very young composer, haven't been doing that much work, but just composing 8 hours the full soundtrack. That's one of the best ever, like in the medium, basically, as you say, in this water area, like the fighting music, the rhythm of that, and the boss music, but also all this, because Clair Obscur, the story is very like, it's a very human story about this very fantastical world, but the themes are very like, you can relate to the themes and what they're trying to do. It's much about life and death and grief, and just capturing all that in that beautiful musical score. I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Just starting the game and hearing this Alicia theme playing in the menu, just choosing how do you want to play the game in option before you start the game. I really don't want to start the game. I can stay here and listen to the music before starting, because it grips you that fast, you know, the feeling of it. Yeah.
And he did a great job. And I actually read an interview with him. It was one of those things that you don't notice until you know it. Yeah. But there's several battle themes in each area. Yeah. And it's like a dynamic soundtrack. So when it starts, if there's a very long fight, the music will slow down, to give, and he said it's to give the player some breathing room, so you can like focus on your tactics, and then at the end, when you get to the climax of the fight, it starts ramping up again. So he said he made depending on the size of the zone, between 1 and 3 different battle soundtracks for each zone. And it's a really amazing, all of them, and it's done in such a like seamless way. So like I said, you won't notice it unless you know it.
That's true.
It's not like a Final Fantasy where you have the same battle music for every trash mob fight. No matter where you are.
And here you can see like the enemies. So it's not this shock when you go into random battles in Final Fantasy when the screen blurs like oh my god, it's a battle now. You can just plan it more here, and because there's a lot of like normal enemies, but also like super hard bosses in this game.
Chromatic versions of the enemies.
So it's very cool in that way. Because I mean, and as you said, John, it's like this combination, the battle system of all like Final Fantasy or like Chrono Trigger, like this old game. Also, it's like a perfect mix out of everything. And I really like the way it's not just passive. Sometimes like it can feel in the older Final Fantasy games where when you're getting hit, you get hit by the enemy unless they miss or something like that. But here you can just parry or you can evade. You get more active during the battle, and if you get a good perfect parry, you get more action points. You can do everything linked together, so you can be more powerful and use that against the enemy. So you have use for that sort of skill as well. So I think it's incredible. You stay active even if it's this turn-based game. You're more active as a gamer. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
it had more to do in every single fight. It just did not feel like, I can going to sit here and browse on Facebook and just press X while, every 5 seconds or so.
Yeah.
Because it felt like you really had to be on your toes sometimes.
Yeah.
Because timing those blocks with these blockable attacks from the enemy, sometimes that was just too much.
Yeah.
I felt like I had the timing, but it's like, maybe not still.
And you could have so many different tactics thanks to all the different weapons having different abilities.
Yeah.
And like in Final Fantasy, you learn this magic, then you can use it. And the weapon just buffs the amount of damage.
Yeah.
But there were so many different builds you could do with the weapons and the
Pictos. Yeah.
And some really, really broken builds that we can get into
later
when we start talking about the really hard enemies. But I ran into the first chromatic enemy that you face. I texted you guys. So do I suck at this game? Or because it kills me instantly. And you just said, just wait. Don't bother yet.
Yeah, exactly. As you progress through the story, you get those damage limit. You can break the limit of damage. You can have a fighting chance against harder because it's basically impossible. But it's, as you said, it's cool with different kinds of build for your characters and skills like that, because it's almost like with these super hard bosses that the game expects you to break the game, and you broke the game here. An extremely hard boss for you. Like it's very aware of itself.
Simon.
Simon. Yeah, exactly.
I died so many times, and then I had to look up as how do I defeat them?
Yeah,
and you can make the machine gun verso version. You just use the free aim shot and. It will inflict statuses. You have a chance of gaining action points. You will, and he will fight alone. The other two party members is just there to instantly die to give him a lot of buffs.
No, but that's so fun, because I think they respect gamers, because gamers today, they find everything in game and just take like a day or two and they find this crazy combination of things, or explore everything in the game, and somewhere they already broke that game. And so I think it's cool. They know that gamers are like that today, and they want to, okay, here's your challenge, basically. What do you do? So it's cool. It's cool.
But they did unfortunately patch it before I got to play it. We have the Mael Stendhal build, where she also fights alone. You give her Pictos that gives her bad status ailments. But those ailments will buff her. So it's like, 2.2 million damage in one hit. But it used to be billions you could reach. But I guess they realized, no, 2-3 million is enough. I think 10 million on a single target hit. Something 10-15 million was my best score, and it's almost no enemies that can withstand a blow like that.
Oh man. I'm thinking like the characters.
Yeah, the characters.
Do you have anyone of the playable characters? Do you have any favorite out of those?
It's hard to choose. I mean, Verso, I think, is a very good character. I mean, I just like the way the story unfolds with the characters, because you're still like questioning the story. You have this this pseudo Paris version of Paris where all the characters live in the beginning, and they make this expedition, and you have this paintress in far away at the horizon that paints this number on this amazing huge 3 monolith, and every year she paints a different number, and everybody that's above basically that age dies, or gomages as they call it, like turn into flowers like these roses. Very sad, very French story. But it's the mystery of that. Who is this paintress? Why is this happening every year? Why are people dying? And so you get very engaged at the beginning, the way they present the characters, not spoiling here in the beginning at least. We can talk spoilers maybe later, but like just the way they present the story with the music and the characters from start, you get very engaged in their expedition. They really want to succeed. You get very high stakes from the beginning. And but you always keeps you guessing until the end, like what the hell is going on, you know, what's happening. But then when you know, it's like, okay, like I just like the explanation for it, and I like it's a very human story dealing with grief that's underneath everything, and I think it's very cool. And the way how the characters reflect on that, like the relationship with each other. You have Gustav and Mayel, and they're like his like big brother for her, and her backstory with losing her parents, and I just like the dynamic in the group.
And all the characters matter.
It's
not like Final Fantasy X with Kimari.
Who
has, if you only play the story, and optional has like 200 words worth of lines. Or something. There's one scene where he really makes a difference. So if you're gonna be a bit rude, Kimari. But all the characters in Clair Obscur matter. And even the larger NPCs, like Eski, I love Eski.
Eski, big fluffy marshmallow, full of wine.
So my wife watched me play, and she said, "What is that?" I said, "It's Eski." Was flying around. So is it a chicken, or what is he? So.
But it's cool. Depending on, we can talk about that in the spoilers. But depending on the ending you choose for the game, you get explanations for everything, even SK, what SK is. So it's that's very cool. It's very cool, and it's very well written dialogue. And as you say, they feel like distinct characters very much. Also like. Christy Ryder plays Lune, for example. Also big sister from Mayel, like this sort of role, and also very like academic in a way, and very like cool and collected. But also when certain things happen in the story, it hits even harder because she loses it completely when something. And it's just to say, just writing that and getting to feel that emotions through the characters is very easy to miss that, as you say, when you have like. Or playing like Final Fantasy VI, for example, you have lots of different characters, and you can miss characters and like that. And it's fun to have characters, but
they overdo it.
They overdo it almost.
It's a great game, but they overdid it with the characters.
Yeah, it's better to get those sort of skills, so your characters can have more skills and maybe less characters in that way. But I think it's perfectly balanced in this one, and also. Like Ciel and Monoko. Monoko is such a fun character, chasing feet all the time and getting
he's so fun.
the enemy skill character. Basically, it's like it's so much fun. There's a lot of it's a lot of sorrow in the story, but a lot of humor as well with SK and with Monoko. And there's humor,
really good balance between the dark and the light. Which goes very well with the name
Clair Obscur. Exactly.
For those who don't know, you are art teachers. You can explain
it's
better than I can.
It's like basically like an Italian art style, a Renaissance art style that plays with light and shadow pretty dramatically in paintings. So Clair Obscur is like the French version of that. So you have both great shades, like light and dark. It's very distinct if you see a painting that's like that. And as you say, it goes way into the theme of the game and the story, like here. Yeah, absolutely.
And to go back to what you mentioned in the beginning with the Reddit, and that basically it's not really a traditional studio. Guys who found each other on Reddit. So I have an idea.
Yeah.
Anyone want to tag along? And turned out pretty well, I would say.
And I mean,
the voice actors was also on Reddit.
And I think it's so cool to have Ben Starr here as Verso from Final Fantasy 16. He plays Clive in Final Fantasy, same voice actor. Yeah. And also Jennifer English as Mael, she's Shadowheart. Shadowheart.
And Renoir, they somehow got Andy Serkis. Gollum in The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's so cool. And Charlie Cox from as Gustav.
Daredevil is his latest famous thing as Gustav.
And very smart, because I watched a documentary about the game, and they said that because it's a small studio, as you say, just paying like for everything and paying the actors, but they got to pay like Andy Serkis and Charlie Cox from like the fund for the commercial side of it. So the development studios didn't have to pay for their salaries. So they get to have this star-powered cast, with those two. So that's very cool as well, that you want to have that sort of weight into it. And Andy Serkis, I mean, he will always be most remembered as Gollum from Lord of the Rings, of course, but he's such a good actor. Every time you see him, I remember watching him in Andor, the Star Wars series, the first season. He's amazing in that one, and also in Planet of the Apes movies. That's also motion capture, but he's so good. And here as Renoir, as the bad guy in a way, is such a good work. And that theme, that boss theme that comes every time you meet Renoir, it is sort of metal opera like style, so different style, but it's such a cool boss theme, and it's 11 minutes long, and you meet him 3 times. When you finish, you have like 33 minutes exactly as the expedition. Such small details, but it's so cool. And almost every day I hear the boss theme from Renoir, and that's
And they said they did blind auditions as well for the voice cast. They made a post on Reddit because they realized, okay, now we have a trailer and we have some cut scenes. Maybe we should have some voice actors. They made a post. I was like, here's the idea of the game. Send in a video, an audio clip. And they didn't know who it was. They just had person 1, person 2. So they said, this guy is good. So let's contact him. Who is he? So, it's Andy Serkis. So, it's Ben Starr, the Clive from Final Fantasy 16. Okay, think we have a good cast.
But it's such a cool way, because you get the best people for it. It's not just a casting. Who's the most famous now? Who's going to bring in, sell the most, for a movie, like movie star like Pedro Pascal. That's in every movie now, basically, today.
You can get 4 movies this year alone he's been in.
You can
he is great.
He is good.
So I don't have anything
against
him being in
movies. But I think you can be like overexposed sometimes. It becomes like a joke or something. Like he's in everything, So it's cool, and you get the right people for it. Just like, as you said, to a Reddit post. Super cool.
Like someone on Reddit said about Pedro Pascal. So the new Harry Potter TV series, they are gonna reveal the cast. It will be Pedro Pascal playing all the characters.
That's so amazing. I remember I was thinking to myself as I was playing through this game, I was actually thinking about, should I play this in English or should I play it in French? I've just studied French in school, but that was so many years ago. But still, I felt like, if I could get subtitles, that's just fine. Because I wanted to find out, is there any lip sync for the conversations? So I just made that happen, and the voice acting was amazing there too. But no, there was no lip sync.
Oh, okay.
So it was so amazing. But I remember I just like the voices of every single character, and I love how Eskier sounds so fuzzy all the time. Almost like he's high. Sometimes a little bit wee, but sometimes woo.
The wee balances the woo. It's the same voice actor. It's Rich Keebold, who does both. He does
Monoko,
and Francois, Eskie's.
Eskie's
friend who doesn't want to admit that he's friends with Eski.
Yeah.
And Simon, the hardest optional boss. It's the same guy.
That's cool.
And it's 3 such different voices. So he is amazing job.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I would never figure that out.
They really had the right people in the right role.
Yeah.
So everybody nailed their assignments.
Yeah.
And I think you have enough of like it is, because you have almost like a relationship simulator, also a very basic one. But I think it's good enough when you're at camp of just getting to know your characters and getting more backstory and expanding on their story and getting their final, unlocking final stuff. So it's, but it's not too much. You're not, you have to choose this or do this. It's just like go with the flow a bit. Just get to know your characters, and it feels organic in a way. And just these hectic battles, and just going into that, a campfire at night. I don't think I actually used the record player in that. I just enjoyed having this silence, like the wind through the trees or something like that. Just relaxing with the characters. It's, I like to include that part. And
such a great way to have the character development in the characters. It's not really in your face. Like in some parts of Baldur's Gate, they tried to drive home a point, but they tried a little bit too hard. I know that Shadowheart follows Shar. Now you don't have to tell me every 2 minutes. Yes.
But I remember that, as I was saying, Johan, regarding the fact that, sometimes you can spend time within the camp with these different kinds of characters. And it really, goes for, building a chemistry in the character development. And you start to really care about each and every one. And I just remember, once you get this chance to have, to spend some time with Luna, you're Verso for that. And she says this thing that I just remember. I laughed so long when I heard this. So Luna says like, "Well, you're right. I had a dog named Bat," and Verso's answer, "You named your," and it's like as if my parents named me Foot.
So there's a lot of good humor in it. No, it's super cool.
Great balance between the light and the dark.
And I love that scene also when Verso and Mel play piano together, and SK just dances beside them. It's such a good moment. And SK is full of wine. It's just amazing. Wine stash.
SK is Jesus.
Yes,
it's been confirmed.
The best NPC ever, I'd say that.
It's so amazing.
I wonder how they actually created his entire persona. His voice, the way that he was thinking, and sometimes just the way that he moves about, because it feels like if he would be on your wrong side, he would obliterate you in half a second. But he's so overly humble. He cares about rocks, and it's like, I lost the rock.
I love that sort of character that has this huge heart, but as you say, extremely powerful being, basically, but just so humble and it's high all the time, or drunk, no more high, I think. But it's like, but it's such a good character trait.
So heavy knowledge on you, like the we balances the woo. It's such a great way and such a concise way to understand. So it's okay to be sad. Because it will balance out the happiness. One of my favorites, he says something like, "Oh, you lost your rocks again?" But the great thing about losing a rock is that you can find it again.
Such a positive
you
way.
might have a falling out with a friend or a lose contact, but you can like get to know each other over again.
Truly.
You drop some really, really heavy knowledge hints on you.
But yes, I love those small things as well with Verso, because and Ben Starr has a very dramatic, gravely voice like that, and SK, "Oh, do you want a hug?" And Verso like, "Always."
I would pay so much to get a hug from SK.
It would
be the softest hug ever.
But it's I mean, the writer here, Jennifer Svanberg, she had never like written anything like this before, and I know she has a background in a lot of academia, very, very smart woman, studied law and different things, but just also like going out on a whim here, just trying to write this game, this story, you know. It's such a cool thing. Like, it's this perfect definition of like a perfect storm, like all the pieces that you didn't think would come together, that had never worked on a thing like this yet, did it and made it perfect, like the first time, like this.
Really neat.
And
it basically started like a fun idea on Reddit.
The director Guillermo Bruch here, I think he experimented with the Unreal Engine and just realized, wow, I can be a god in this engine, basically, and do stuff. And he had this background in this, turn-based game. I mean, growing up with those games and liking those games, I wanted to create something unique like that. But it's just pure, like, creativity, like, just having that. Lightning in a bottle.
And they've been so honest about it. Some people say, but it's just like Final Fantasy X. Yes, because that's one of our favorite games ever, like the Final Fantasy series and the Persona series and so on. And they've been very open about that. And there's such beautiful small homages to those games.
And I like the difference here in this game compared to, like, it's not this overly very, I mean, like with Final Fantasy, it feels sometimes extremely Japanese. I mean, with the design of the characters, they're usually young kids, 17, 18 years old.
Always crazy here.
Always crazy here. Always someone with amnesia or something like that. Or like strange relations with the bad guy in the story usually also. But like just having this more fresher approach that the characters are at a certain age and have certain experiences, and then you have younger characters and you have older characters, but it's a different approach to it, and it feels I just like that sort of distinguish itself like that with its characters. So I love Final Fantasy also. I played it thousands of times, but I can appreciate trying to do something different here.
It's almost my opinion about it is this is what I wish Final Fantasy had been for the past 10 years or so. Exactly. It really just takes it up a notch.
And I think everybody that feels like that, that's many Final Fantasy fans who felt like it's gone too much into action, Devil May Cry style, even if it still has some of that turn-based combat in it, felt right at home, it felt like. But also I've heard from gamers that never played turn-based combat games really loving this game, that hadn't had any previous experience, just like, no, this is a masterpiece, I love it, it's one of the best games I've ever played in my life, basically.
Yeah, there was a lot of reviews like that on Steam when I looked it up. And also people who say, I never write reviews on Steam, but I had to do it for this game.
Nice.
I mean, if this doesn't win like Game of the Year this year, I mean, we can stop handing out the prize, basically. There will be violence. There will be a lot of woo in the world. No, but because it's insane. And the team is so small. I think in the documentary, they were so small in the beginning, around 10 people, but in the final part of the development circle, there were about 50 people. I mean, it's still a small team, small budget. They were asked how big was the budget. They didn't want to say, but I mean, probably very, very small for this game, and still having this quality. And I think that's one thing that gamers, I think we have talked about in this podcast as well, that they miss, like, oh, here's a new game and it costs like 1,200 like kronor here in Sweden, like it's so expensive, like $80 or $90 in the States or something, like, and there you have this game that's cheaper than all of that and has way higher quality than most of those games. So it exposes the scam in the business as well from these big studios that just want to make money, milk us dry of money here.
Yeah, because they said in an interview that they purposely did that, because they said, we could set the price point at $70, but then we will need to sell fewer copies to reach our break-even point. But if we set it to $50, more people, those $20 makes a bigger difference than I can take a chance on a game for $50 today. And they reached their break-even point in less than 48 hours. And it's so beautiful. It's like when poetry meets the real word. So Expedition 33, after 33 days, they hit 3.3 million copies sold. It's so beautiful.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
So amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, such a good game.
Yeah. I remembered, I wanted to talk about one thing because, regarding all these characters and how you can very much, go, well, it's pretty much, it feels like it's the perfect middle world between an open world game and a linear game. I love the fact that you have to do something, within the main storyline, but pretty early on you get to explore. And of course, you're not really recommended to go to every single city or place, whatever it is, because sometimes you're met with these, big text saying danger. But sometimes it's just so amazing to just, swim in the ocean or fly once you get that ability and just experience things. And I remember throughout the story, you meet all these different kinds of enemies that are recurring. And I remember this kind of, what do you call a person who mimics?
A mimic.
Okay, yeah. So I remember that person, with this headwear, whatever that's called, the hat, and also the striped T-shirt. I remembered, wasn't it like you defeat that enemy and then you get this shirt to wear for one of your characters, and it's named Baguette.
You get the baguette when you finish the game as well as a weapon. No, so it's a mimic and a mime. I think you were. Mime. True. But there's a fun. But there's fun like thing. Sort of exploring, as you say, you find different things like these mimic boss characters and different things, and you unlock certain costumes through certain challenges, climbing these towers and stuff like that. But there's so much to do, and I like, as you say, you have this more like dungeon, sort of more like Final Fantasy when you're in certain environments with enemies, but then you have the world map, and just having a world map again, I thought was so nice, just being able to travel around, and then you get SK, it gets easier to go to different places, but it also harkens back to those old Final Fantasy games. It was such a nice feeling. It was just beautiful world map, I think, also. Because I remember thinking that playing older Final Fantasy games, how would you do this in a modern game with more realistic characters? How would it look? But it looks amazing the way they did it here, I think.
And something with the map that I found in the beginning, I thought was so annoying, but then I realized why and started to appreciate that you don't have a mini-map in the different areas.
That's true.
And
true.
I think it was so annoying at first because I'm so good at getting lost in video games, especially open world or semi-open world games. Then I realized, but of course they don't have a map because nobody has come back with a map, so you don't know where to go. So the world map reveals as you progress. You reveal the areas you've been to. Because then you can draw the map. You know where, but nobody has come back.
No.
So of course they don't have
a little homage to Metroidvania games. You explore and then you draw the map.
Exactly.
Old school style. Yeah, because I remember that not many times, but sometimes I felt a little bit frustrated about that. Just have I been there? Have I not been there? Like, where have I been? So if you want to make a compromise, maybe you could find because these expeditions that has gone before and died, you find notes from them. So maybe in some areas, maybe at the end of an area, you can find a note and here's our map, basically. If you want to get a bigger map, just to for those who want a map, basically. But as you say, it encourages you as a gamer to explore more and feel like this expedition in a different way. Absolutely,
And I love those notes that you find from the previous expeditions. Such a good world-building method. Because you don't, as I said, nobody has come back, so you don't know anything about what's outside Lumiere, except we have our city and we have the monolith that is our goal at the far end of the ocean. And you find them. So the different tactics that the different expedition has used. Okay, but they did this and it didn't work. We try this instead.
Yeah, yeah.
So you find in one area there's a big Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
that's just laying on the ground, and you find a note. So yeah, that's because there was one expedition who thought maybe this will be a good method of transportation. We'll make a giant Ferris wheel and a carousel to get around. And you find pretty late in the game, I think, you can find on a little island a note from the Expedition 60 that someone almost came back because they realized that we won't be able to defeat it. So we have to send someone back to Lumiere to give them the information we have. And it's so close to Lumiere. Yeah. So a guy, I think that was the expedition that went naked, basically, because our physique will break the paintress. And someone swam back, and there's a little... Just like a few hundred meters from the shore, he got gomashed.
Yeah, but it's great world building. It's great world building, as you say, and also all the different the variations of the environments in itself tells a story. And I remember this battlefield, this environment with all the bodies piled up. It's such a great environment, and that boss that you meet there at the end, and the music, everything fits together like these small story arcs, every environment basically. It's so good. And I remember that thing, especially talking about the music, every time I went to a boss and I'm like, wow, that's a great boss theme like that, and going into Spotify and saving it in a playlist like that. And then I don't think they can top this boss music, and then I get to the next boss and like, oh my god, it's even better than the last boss.
Surprising you. So it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, it's very few game. One of the bosses here, this visage boss, like this different masks, huge boss later in the game, and I just had to pause the game just to listen to the music, but it was so good like this. I mean, and the rhythm, that the animations when you're going up and you have this, it looks incredible. Just the menu of choosing what you're going to do during the battle, and the way the characters move, and you have this black ink, like let's spill some ink, like they say. Like it just feels like a rhythm, like a dance almost to the music. Like it's hard to explain. You have to play it, but it's like just so perfect.
Yeah, I remember. I never got sick of the music at any one point.
No.
I don't really listen to any of that kind of music, but I love the fact that it just encouraged me to actually listen to that when I'm not playing the game. So, like before I came here, I felt like, hey, let's just re-immerse myself a little bit. So I went on YouTube Music and I checked it out and I listened to a bunch of songs, and I got my favorite, but I love the fact that you got everything from, somewhat metal to more atmospheric, like opposite, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just so amazing, and the vocalists and the production value, it's just like, it's like it came out of, it feels like it's music that is created for, a different kind of purpose, but also brought to the game.
Yeah.
But for the fact that it was created for the game, that's just an amazing feeling. Like, people are finally gonna actually talk about the music for this game.
Yeah, it's so fun watching YouTube videos of like music teachers or music composers, like older, like in their 50s or something, that never played a game, and they start listening to this music, just like a reaction video. And one guy start playing this Alicia theme that's at the start menu of the game. He was like in shock. I mean, oh my god, is this from a video game? It's like perfect. Like it's like they're all like wow. And also vocalists that are into metal music and like start listening to that Boss Renoir and they're like, oh my god, let's start crying. Like it's so powerful. Like because they speak French as well, so all the lyrics, and it's like, oh yeah, it really is that good. It really is that good.
It's always the soundtrack always fits.
There's
always. There's not 1 second in the game where the soundtrack feels out of place.
No.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
So he did. Lorian did such a great work on the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think they will get nominated for a soundtrack for Game of the Years, because that's a category, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And performance-wise, I think they only have one award for best actor or actress. They
won Gamescom the other week. They won best soundtrack.
Great.
So I think game of the year, best soundtrack, best story. At least those three.
Yeah, at least
they will get nominated for.
I think it would be cool if Jennifer English got award for Asmael or Alicia, as she is called. But it's like because she's just a good actress and starting to get a little bit now renowned for Shadowheart, as you said, Baldur's Gate, and such an important character here in the game. And it would be cool to have some. Yeah,
I really hope so.
Or Ben Starr, I mean, as Verso, also incredible, incredible character. This mystery, always this mystery around him. I really like it. Are we going to get into spoilers a bit? You want to talk about the story?
So we need that.
Yeah. So now it's spoiler time. So if you haven't played it, stop listening here. Get back to this moment and finish the podcast. But because this is one game. I'm so glad I didn't watch any trailers or anything for it. Basically, just went totally blind into it, and because there's so many surprises. Yes, at the beginning with Gustav and his ex-girlfriend. Was it Sophie or something she was called?
Yeah, something.
And you get to play as her a bit there in the beginning because it's the time of the gamage and the paintress is going to paint a different number, and you don't know what's going to happen really. But then the number changes and she dies basically just at the beginning, and as you get hooked immediately because
it's such a powerful scene.
Because it lays the groundwork so perfectly in this smart way in this first 15 minutes or something, just like this short while, but you get a feel about her and Gustav's relationship, and it has ended, but you get a feeling for her as a character. You can interact with the townspeople, and when she dies, and also the music is it's so beautiful, it hits you in the heart immediately, and you're so invested in this journey right from the start. It's such a beautiful and sad way to just start the game. It's like the movie Up, if you've seen Up, with this old man and the balloons. Like the beginning of that movie, explaining his wife, her relationship with meeting his wife and her dying, and how it sets up his character. It's like the best 4 minutes in a movie ever, basically. It's just so beautiful. Almost the same way here, it sets up the story, and it's so good. It's so good. But and the story shifts. I mean, we have because you have Gustav, and you think he's the main character in the beginning. And you have Charlie Cox, who's the main actor, and but then you see also his skill tree. You haven't unlocked that many skills when you play the game, and why don't you do that?
And I invested so heavily into Gustav when I played it.
Me too.
Yeah.
So this will be my dude.
Yeah. So it's a complete shock when Noir just shows up and kill him out of nowhere. The shock, I mean, the effect that has on the team and on the player, you just get shattered. Oh my God, I didn't see that coming, and all the character reactions around this, Lune, her reaction to it just breaks down this cool character, just those rambling stuff, and they really can't process that sort of grief, and it's such a powerful moment. I
mean, that was such a great way to show how powerful Renoir is.
Yes, you truly fear him as a character,
Because this is a really, really good Gustav is a really good fighter. He's been training for this, and Renoir basically just waves his hand and he is done.
Yeah.
It's such a great setup so you should watch out for this dude.
I really remember as Gustav just died by Renoir's sword, I remembered Renoir mentioned something, this is a kindness, not a cruelty, and I felt but how is that? I always had that in my mind throughout the story, and I never really got to what he, got the answer to what he meant by that.
Yes, he is.
I think that's answered later in the story, because he is, if I interpret it correctly, Renoir is against Now this will be the biggest spoiler. If you are stupid enough to not have turned off the podcast and haven't finished the game, now would be the time. When it turns out everything is a painting. And Renoir is like, he really doesn't like that. He says he basically later in the game says, no, this is not a good idea. We have to stop and we have to get into the real world again. You can't do this. So I think that's what he meant with this is a kindness.
That's and that's a different, because the real Renoir is the faceless guy that
the curator.
The curator. Thanks. So that's the evil Renoir is like this bad guy that the paintress has painted his wife in the real world, because it's sort of like, and this version of like the real Paris, if we want to call it that, they have like this magic abilities, like go into painting and create living worlds, and also like infusing those painting with, you know, life, basically, like traces of life, because Verso, for example, the brother of Alicia was he dies in the real world. So this is a sort of, I mean, dealing with that grief, like the painter has made this painting to keep his memory alive, basically, and that was what Alicia wants as well, to live in that world where he lives, because they can't face the grief that he's dead. He's died in a fire. It
becomes a coping mechanism.
It's a coping mechanism, and that's very real. And Maëlle is like, she wants to live in the real world, because in this painting, because in the real world she is horribly like scarred from the fire that killed her brother Verso. So it's about dealing with grief and just avoiding grief, basically, or dealing with grief also through art, you could say. So it's different, like a painting, it's different layers as well, you know, like that. So that's very cool, a sort of a meta perspective into it. But it's very beautiful way to express this, I think, in this game. So So I think that's why it's as a kindness, because in the end they want to go back to the real world. That depends on what you chose at the end of the game. Which
truly.
What did you choose? Did you choose Verso or Alicia?
I went with Maëlle being the good person.
Okay, so you chose Alicia. Yeah.
Same.
Alicia, truly,
I actually chose Verso. I chose Verso because I was so sold at the end by Ben Starr's acting there when he finished to killed or expelled the real Renoir in a way, and now you have to choose. You have the freedom to choose to keep living in this painting. It's not the real world, but you can live there. All the characters can live there, but you haven't dealt with the underlying problem, the grief. You haven't taken that to heart. So just seeing like Verso sitting beside his self, you know, this young boy painting, that's the soul of Verso, basically, and saying he's so tired, and you hear how tired he is in his voice. He doesn't want to live anymore. He's so old, and he just wants to die and pass away. So that's, I was like, no, I'm going to choose Verso, because it's better to, even if it's the real world isn't pleasant, it's the real thing. I mean, it's the real way of life, and you can go through a grieving process in a different. You have to tackle it sometime, and not just live in this fantasy world. So that's why I chose that. So so after you've done that, you basically, you know, you're in the real world, and you have to deal with that. You have the family standing at Verso's grave, and Alicia is holding his favorite toy with his SK, like this fluffy toy, like, so that's where SK come from. And you have all the characters, even everyone is just standing there waving, and they're just vanishing, you know, because they're not real. They're just like and of course the game is not real, so they also have that perspective. But I just felt like that was a nice way to end the story, because you have this fantastical story in this world, this amazing fantasy world, but you have to go back to the real world sometimes and face
the grief.
The grief, not to escape it. And I think if you choose Alicia there at the end, you still have Verso in that world, and he's even older at the ending. He has to live in that world, and it's is almost forcing them to just stay there and keeping everything still. You know, maybe you like it, maybe you feel better, but it's still just control and just freezing everything, so nothing can really happen, and just not dealing with grief. That's my interpretation of it, at least. So, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's a very, very heavy subject they managed to tackle in a very, very good way. Very, how to say, I don't know how to put it, like a respectful way for people who grieve and who have a hard time coping with the grief.
Do you guys remember, you know, at that moment when you had to make a choice to side with either Alicia or Verso in that climax, did you really take time, you know, like several minutes to figure out what you would choose, or would you, like, you know, just seconds before that really set on which choice you were supposed to make?
For me, it was like, the acting for Verso sold me completely. Because it just breaks down. You hear the crackle in the voice, like, and also the animation and the graphics, like, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this. Because, no, but it's just, Verso is such an interesting character in that way, that he's kept secret why he's there and why he's older and why everybody has these questions. But it's also a cool, like, mechanism, I think, for just when Gustav passes away, or gets killed, that you get this new character instead, so you don't feel like this with different skills, better skills, or different play style. Like that's a cool way to just, okay, he passed away, but now we have this character we can use instead. Like, but you can do that in different ways, because comparing that to Final Fantasy VII, when Aerith dies, it's like, that's a loss. You will never get that character back again. So sorry, like,
Yeah, truly, that's exactly my way of thinking as that happened. I was like, but now I have one person short of the team. How am I supposed to figure this out? Maybe the end boss would want you to go into different teams at different times. It's like, I need full teams.
So for me, it was easy like that, the choice. But it's cool. It's cool to have a choice at the end, really, for the player.
Definitely. It makes a huge nod to replayability.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Was it hard for you, John, what to choose at the end? Or?
Yeah, I remember it must have taken like maybe between 3 to 7 minutes to actually just think like, oh my, what is this actually? Is this going to really affect whether the game ends now, or am I going to play it further? Because there's an extended storyline, maybe. I really had to think through it, because I remember, as I'm playing a game, I usually try to immerse myself to the fullest. But it's sometimes like, my brain capacity is not always where I want it at every single given moment. But it was so amazing to hear that conversation. But I remembered as that choice came up on screen, I was just jumping out of my couch going like, whoa, can I rewind?
But it's cool, and it doesn't punish the player, I think, either way. As the boss fight isn't that hard. I mean, if you like leveled up to 99 or something, like, it's impossible to beat the other character. Maybe, I mean, they thought about that, so you can have a choice either way. So, for you, Justin, what did you think about the choice?
Fairly quickly. Because of the stupidest reason ever.
Okay.
If you leave the painting, Eski will die.
Oh,
so then I cannot have that.
You did it all for Eski.
That's not a stupid reason. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a wee moment.
I did not want the woo.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
Yeah, no, but it's because it's hard, because you get invested in the characters, but have to face the music sometimes. I was like at that moment to just make that choice. But I love the choice. I love that you have that for, as you say, also genre. You can replay the game and make a different choice and try different things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it was so amazing. I just had a thought, but I just forgot what it was.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe you guys keep on talking about something and I can get back to mine.
Well, we just sing all the praises for this game. Was it something that you didn't like about the game? Big or small? Like, was it something that you liked?
I got one thing, actually.
Yeah?
And I remembered, due to the fact that it felt like the main game storyline was kind of short. But then again, I love the fact that the game really entices you to explore the world and to really try to go your own way and just, grind, essentially.
Yeah.
But I do did not really like the fact that I don't really like grinding that much, even though in this game, so long as you find the right kind of enemies to battle, it's kind of, fast to go up in level over time.
Yeah.
But I remembered I just chose the wrong enemies to fight, so it went like, okay, I cannot output that much damage. I remember I reached that 9,999 damage, and then I just figured, okay, once you beat the core story, you could have this perk to actually have one of your characters, according to what I found, have one of the characters output more damage than that.
Yeah.
But then I saw online, way after when I gave up, after I've actually finished the entire game, I just figured, what? You can actually have more of your team members within the same fights do more damage than the actual cap.
When you learn the Pictos.
Pictos, And I think
you missed that part.
I did not do that anyways. I just gave up.
I think it's when you defeat the paintress, you get this break damage limit, basically.
You get one.
Yeah, you get one, but then you can learn it to the other characters for battles. And I like that that you can just do it very quickly. You don't have to grind too much to learn different Pictos like that. But yes, because I have some friends who played it as well. But, I just can't do the damage to these like harder enemies, like harder bosses like that. And just no, wait, go forward with the story. You get more powerful. You get more, so you can avoid limits and just deal all that millions damage points. So it's like Jason, did you have anything that you didn't like?
Few quality of life issues that because since I rearranged my builds a lot to try different things, and I knew if I'm gonna fight this, I want this build, so be able to save a loadout.
That's smart.
These are the 3 different builds I use for Mael, but then every time I'm gonna change, I have to go and pick every single Pictos again and again. And when you have, I think I finished the game with 1,000 something Lumina points on each character. That's a lot of Pictos. So then having to choose all of them over again is so hard. And when you learn the Pictos, which ones you should equip to learn, be able to filter on these are unlearned. These are the ones I have left to learn. So being able to filter that instead of trying to see the little gold border on every Pictos. So do I know this one or not? No, because that's I can see that as well, and because one of the not the problem, but there's lots of Pictos in the game. So I think maybe you maybe overdid this, but at the same time you think like it's cool to have all those combinations. I mean how you build them. So to solve that's a good solution. Just to have it, you can save builds or a easier way to manage that sort of the inventory for it would be great. Yes, it's mostly UI. Things that I would complain about. But those are, it's a minor problem. You have to spend a few more minutes to change the build. But it would have been a great quality of life thing to be able to save the loadout. So I want these Pictos and this weapon. Because there were so many different builds to experiment with. You of course get to the point where I want this and this. So Luna has this loadout, Verso has this one, and Mael has this one. That's the golden team. And then getting into the broken builds. That made it so much easier when I was farming. I can help you find that build where you just go in with Mael alone in the fight, does Stendhal, and everything dies. So just with AoE, if three enemies, you use the AoE attack that does 2-3 million per hit on all of them. And if there's only one, you have the single target attack that does 10 to 15 million damage.
Wow.
So there's some really broken builds that helps with farming. And especially Lumina farming. There's was it Renoir's Drafts? I think it was called the area, so underwater area, one of the high-level ones. There's a Gestrel merchant you can fight. And I feel so sorry for that dude. Because I killed him over and over and over. Because it was the easiest way to farm Lumina. Because it was from you started the conversation and killed him to you could start the conversation again. It was 30 seconds or so. And you would get, I don't know if it was 3 Lumina per time. So I just killed him over and spent hours killing him. I feel so bad for him. So,
oh yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. No, for me, maybe as you say, with the inventory management a little bit like that, and then sometimes I missed a map. I did completely miss a map sometimes, but it's smaller things. Like this is a masterpiece. Like and there's. Like nothing is 100% perfect. There's a small gripes on the whole thing. So it's like,
it's hard to find something big.
Yeah.
To complain, because I can't complain about any of the characters. Maybe that I would have wanted more of some characters, like Francois, the stone turtle.
The stone turtle, yeah.
Who is Eski's friend, but doesn't really want to admit that he is Eski's friend. I would have loved to see a little more about him and why is he the grumpy turtle.
Yeah, we want his backstory. Yeah, spin-off game with the main character when you play as him instead.
I want a duo game with only Francois and Eski.
Yeah,
that would be
that'd
game
be
of
cool.
The year 2026.
Yeah. Like a prequel story, because they're thinking about. I mean, this was a huge success. That's very good as well, because it was released at the same day, I think, as they made this Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake. The remaster released at the same time, so people were like, no, we will take away the focus from this game, but it didn't, because it just made it you see it more on social media because of that coincidence. So it just helped as well, and also of course all the positive reviews and everything. So but I know A24, the movie company, is making a movie about Clair Obscur as well. So I think it's in the works, at least the rumor is that it's in the works. And I think the studio Sandfeld is going to make another one in this sort of like, because as I said, this is you like this so much. Now we were just trying out things. Now we know how to do things. Imagine what we can do next time, So I think they're going to explore it more with different in this sort of world with magic paintings and whatever. But bring it on. It
will be so interesting to see how they do it, because the Final Fantasy games has the big advantage that it's standalone games, all of them. There's a few sequels, some better than others, but like in Final Fantasy X, I know it got a sequel. We don't talk about
that sequel.
But since you had the big reveal in that game, it's hard to do a sequel with the same kind of impact in a twist. And it's the same with Clair Obscur. Now, you know about the painters and the painters. So it will be really interesting to see how they deal with it, because it will be hard to, I think, make a game in the same universe, so to speak. Because the story is finished. You know everything about it. There's not very much more to explore in a full-length game.
No.
But of course, a game with Verso, what has Verso been up to? Because he was in Expedition 0. Now, what was he up to during all those years between that and Expedition 33? But you will still miss the big twist.
I think it's better to, as you say, you can, like almost like in Final Fantasy, you just play in a different painting, like completely different characters, different story, and maybe you have a different twist, because now this is sort of a fantasy, it's a live living painting, but then you can have just an amazing story in that painting. You don't have to have that sort of perspective on it. So, but it will still be hard to topple the story and the twists and the emotional beats from this. It will be hard, because it's perfection. It's like sometimes it's hard to
considering what a good job they did with the story in Expedition 33. They can probably do something great.
Yes.
Definitely.
Even if it's not like this perfect, it still would probably be pretty amazing game, really. So
yeah, it's hard with when you don't have the big reveal anymore.
Yeah.
But I think they will probably do something.
Yeah,
really good.
We have faith.
It will be a very interesting studio to follow, so to speak.
And just so they can keep their like independence, basically, so they don't sell out to some big, studio or something. Instead, so it gets too commercial and too many, shareholders who want to. Oh, you have to release the game now. Thinking about Cyberpunk, for example, that wasn't finished, but the shareholders, oh, you have to release it now. I want my money or stuff like that. And just let them cook, let the studio finish the game, and now it's perfect, just release it. Oh, okay, it's amazing. Yeah. So you don't have all that, just keep them this small independent group. Don't get huge investors in who want to, control everything.
CD Projekt Red ended up in a damned if I do, damned if I don't situation. Because they had, like you said, the shareholders who say, oh, you have delayed it 3 times. We need to release it now. And the fans also said, but you can't delay it again. You've already, it's been a year or 1.5 since it was supposed to be released. And so they ended up, so if we don't release it, people get mad because we didn't release it on time. And if they do release it, which they did, it's not finished. Completely finished. There was still some polishing to do. It was still a great game, even when released. There was some few bugs.
a few.
But it was still a great game with a great story. But if they had gotten those extra months to polish it and get rid of all the bugs, it would have been even better.
I think the investors and the people that put pressure on the developers need to see the long game here, because it's a huge development. I mean, the time period takes years to make a game, and I mean, it's totally worth it to wait and just release it when it's finished. And just maybe you're always going to go back and patch things, but I mean, just because you will damage the game if it's not. I mean, Cyberpunk, I think it's an incredible game now. It's totally finished,
especially now with the Phantom Liberty.
I mean, so many jaw-dropping moments playing on PlayStation 5. I play and just having all this world, this sci-fi cyberpunk world, and the characters are now it's such a good package, the game with the DLC and everything, all new things you can do in it. So it's completely different. But if it had been released like that, it would be stuff of legends, when it's completely just not having this tarnished rumor around it.
They really worked uphill after the initial release. But it will be interesting to see.
Clair Obscur. More Clair Obscur.
34.
We
want it.
And just as a movie, if they now get it done, would be very interesting.
Great story to do a movie about, because it's not the main story. If you only play the main story, go from point A to point B to point C, and don't take any side routes. It's not a super long story-wise game. So I think it's a very good length of a story to make a movie about, and I really hope if they do, they better get Andy Serkis to play.
And it's so cool if they could have Charlie Cox as Gustav as well, or but he looks exactly like Robert Pattinson, I think, in almost exactly like him. So, but it's cool when they can get the real actors. I think
it would be really cool,
because there's also strange things sometimes when they have this actor or actors who play a character and just scan their faces and they're really in the game, and then they're talking about making a movie about the game, and they're like, oh, who's going to play this character, like the main character? Well, you have an actor or that already done it, and it's that actor. Maybe you should hire that actor to do it. It's strange, but that's also the money side of it. If they can get Pedro Pascal, you will get very Pascal as
in every role.
Yeah,
Pedro Pascal as Mael.
Yes, or as the Paintress sitting there. We'll see, but it's a masterpiece, and it's been nice talking about it today. This incredible game, like once every 10 years, maybe something like this comes along. If even then, it's such a rare thing you get this sort of masterpiece. We thought we should take time to make a special podcast about this. So
truly a great initiative. I really like the fact that we talked about this, because it really feels like this is one of those games that are such masterpieces that not only do the gaming community care about it and feel, but people who have heard about the game and know people who have played the game, even they feel like, oh, this is an amazing game.
Really,
they really nailed it.
In every way.
So impressive. This small team who found each other on Reddit, of all places.
It's so cool.
Such a good story around the game.
You could make a movie about the making of this game. It would be amazing, because nobody would believe that story. Like, it's such a good story behind the game as well. It's super cool.
I do believe there's a lot of footage on YouTube regarding behind the scenes and stuff like that. So worth checking out, I guess.
There's a lot of documentaries and interviews, and it's fun to watch.
And play it. I'm guessing everyone who listened this far has played it.
I'm guessing so.
Play it again. Buy another copy.
Support the studio. So any more final thoughts from you guys about the game, or?
No, I've actually brought everything to the table I feel like I needed to.
Same here.
Same, I think.
Yeah.
People will only think we scratched the surface, but we did. But
there's so many things to talk about in this game.
Too many.
Yeah. But it's been great talking about it. So we'll see what we're going to make a podcast about next time. We'll see what we're discussing some ideas, but we haven't decided. We'll see what happens.
No, truly, we'll get to it.
We get to it. But once again, thank you so much for listening to our podcast and following. It's fun. And what did you like about Clair Obscur? Write in the comments. It would be great to hear from you what your experience with the game have been. And we're going to talk to you again soon. Okay.
Bye then.
Bye.